If you have a cell phone or a pager, would you please either turn it off or set it to stun? It's just for the older people. The younger people already know how to put it on vibrate only. Baruch Dayan Hamet. We praise the Judge of Truth. We begin with Psalm 121. Esa enai el haharim me'ayin yavo Ezri. Ezri me'im Adonai oseh shamayim va'aretz. Al yiten lamot raglecha, al yanum shomrecha. Hine lo yanum velo yishan shomer Yisrael. Adonai shomrecha, Adonai tzilcha al yad yaminecha. Yomam hashemesh lo yakaka ve'oreach balayla. Adonai yishmar mikol ra yishmor et nafshecha. Adonai yishmar tzeitcha uvoecha me'ata va'ad olam. I lift my eyes to the mountains, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, maker of heaven and earth. God will not let your foot give way. Your protector will not slumber. See, the protector of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. God is your guardian. He is your protection at your right hand. The sun will not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will guard you from all harm. He will guard your soul, your going and your coming, now and forever. Death has taken too soon our beloved Daniel Livshin. Friends grieve in their darkened world. In their silence there is lamentation. In their tears there is loneliness. Lost in their sorrow may they find the presence of loving friends. Hear them, O God, and be with them. For Daniel's love that united so many people in life, and which death cannot sever. For his companionship that we shared along life's path and which continues through the tenderness of memory. For the gifts of his heart and mind that brought joy and happiness and is now a precious remembrance. For all these and more, we give our thanks to God. This is a time of profound grief, deep and abiding grief. It is an opportunity for us to listen to the voice of our sacred scriptures, especially from Sefer Tehillim, from the book of Psalms. It tells us of our kinship with the Creator, in light as in darkness, in joy as in sorrow, in life as in death. Together let us recite in the English the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen. It's a privilege to call forward Daniel's cousin Tony to speak some words about his dear cousin and words of tribute.
Life is short, tough, painful, and fragile. Life isn't fair, but it's also sweet, beautiful, and reciprocating. Cherish every tiny moment. Live every day like it's your last. Daniel was a ray of sunshine on a cloudy day. He was the warmest soul in every room. I could still feel his energy even from the last time I saw him, which was over a year ago. He was truly the best cousin I could ask for. It's funny. I can't tell if I love him so much because of unconditional love for family or because he was such an amazing kid. Probably the latter. I hope to carry his spirit with me till the end of my days, and I know everyone here will do the same. I love you, Daniel. I'll make you proud. Keep shining your light on all of us.
And those words, let us respond to them as a prayer with Amen. We gather this morning to bid a reverent farewell to our beloved Daniel Livshin. His Hebrew name was, first name Daniel. He went by Daniel Moshe. Moses, Ben Ari Ve'ilana. Daniel means God judges. Moshe means one drawn from the water, like the first Moses. A tragic and terrible accident caused him to breathe his last on Shabbat afternoon. And he was brilliant, he was kind, he had a way with people, and he loved virtually everyone. It's difficult to find words to properly express the depth of feeling at this moment of tragedy. And it is a tragedy. Because of his untimely death, he was just 24 years old. Truly, it's a tragedy. In the Midrash, in Bereshit Rabbah, the Midrash on the book of Genesis, we learn that Rabbi Judah, an outstanding scholar of some 2,000 years ago, taught about the death of Abraham Avinu, of Abraham our father. We learn in Genesis chapter 25, verse 7, this was the total span of Abraham's life, 175 years. And Abraham breathed his last, dying at a good, ripe age, old and contented. And Rabbi Judah asked the question, what's the difference between the death of young men and old men? And he said, this can be compared to a lamp with olive oil and a wick. This can be compared to a lamp that goes out of its own accord. There's no more oil in it. It burns and goes out. And when that happens, it's good. It's good for the lamp and good for the wick. But the death of one before his time is like when the lamp goes out because of some outside interference. For example, a wind or an accident. And it's bad for the wick and bad for the oil. And this morning, it's a real sense of tragedy. It's bad. He was a good guy. We gathered for a very, very difficult reason. For our dear Daniel leaves life before his time. It's sad for him and family and friends. It's sad for the Jewish people. It's sad for the many different communities in which he lived. He was born here in Cleveland on July 27th, 1993, and he's survived by his parents, Len and Ina, his brother Gene, his wife Celia, his favorite niece, Lenny Nora, to whom he was an amazing and loving uncle. Of course, she was his only niece at this point, but she was also a favorite. You know, we know this in life. You can have a child, and your child can be your least favorite child, even if it's your only child. This was his favorite niece. And they had a wonderful, loving relationship for those months. He's also survived by his uncle Dimitri, his wife Margarita, his cousins Tony and Christina, babushka Irina, Diadushka Edward, Balachowski, and many friends and acquaintances. Also at this time of sadness, we recall the memories of his grandparents Vilin and Raya Livshitz, Sarah Goldberg, Zelda Goldberg, Shlomo Shliansky. He went to Solon High School and graduated in 2011, went on to matriculate at The Ohio State University. He was a huge OSU fan. He graduated at Ohio State in December of 2015 with a degree in one of the things that older people, we don't understand, industrial systems and engineering. It would seem they come up with new degrees every semester. So his was industrial systems and engineering. Probably many of us don't understand what that means because, well, we're not smart enough. He was a smart guy. He was athletic, was a good soccer player. The Punim on the picture, very, very, very handsome face. It's a good-looking Punim. And he was good on the inside, too. He was athletic. He played soccer and tennis. He skied. He took time to coach kids in tennis and soccer. He was fun to be with. He was kind and helpful. And even in death, he was helpful. For after he breathed his last, he was an organ donor, and he donated, and 8 people have been helped because of the donations. Growing up, he had struggles with aspects of his personality, sometimes so much so that he wasn't able to live the way he wanted to. But because even with his struggles, he also had a brave and determined personality, and because of the help of his father and high school teachers and friends, Daniel persevered. He loved his time at Ohio State and his brothers in the Sammy fraternity. In pictures, as we can see, he has a great smile. He was a free hugger. He would meet you, you would hug. You would become a part of his family pretty quickly. Not only did people love him, but the family dogs loved him. Now, dogs don't love everybody. And he was also the only one in the family who liked to shop. So he liked to be well-dressed and to look good. Colorful attire. He loved the land and people of Israel. While in college, he went on a birthright trip. And after graduation, he went on a European trip which ended in Israel to visit family and friends. He's been working for Accenture as a technology consultant. And we are saddened and shocked by his sudden accidental death on Saturday. It's as if lightning had struck ground from a clear blue sky. And we grope for words to express our grief. A few find their way to our lips. There was so much left that we wanted to do with him. There was so much left that he wanted to do. There was so much left that we wanted to say to him. So much left that Daniel wanted to say. And although we do not know why, God has called Daniel's soul back to the reservoir of being. And so he has breathed his last. There's no more pain. There's no deterioration. There's just rest and wholeness and peace. And just as Shabbat is a time of rest, so too for Daniel it is a time of rest and peace. His soul returns to God to be with the souls of his relatives and the ancestors of our people. We learn this in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 7. The dust returns to the earth, and the spirit returns to God who gave it. So we lay the remains, the body in the ground, and the soul returns to God. God will take care of his soul. God takes care of his soul in a time called Olam Haba, the world to come. It's not a place. I mean, this is a place. A cemetery is a place. Olam Haba is a time. It's an eternal time in which God will take care of his soul. It's a spiritual existence. Judaism also believes that when we go, God willing, after a good long time, our souls will be together with his. The family has allowed us to send a copy of an old prayer book and a copy of the Torah with him in the casket, because not only is it a mitzvah to escort the body of a loved one to its final resting place, it's also a mitzvah, a religious obligation, to provide respectful burial for holy books of our tradition. So you have many, many memories of Daniel, and we give thanks to God even in the sadness and the bitterness of our grief. We give thanks to God for this life, this wonderful life, for the years we had with him. And as you think of Daniel, maybe go shopping. Be kind. Help other people. And maybe be an organ donor. When you're done using them, someone else can use them. Give a hug. And just be a mensch. Be a good, decent person. Because only through the deeds which we perform can the world be compensated for the loss of this good and decent young man. And so we conclude with words from the first chapter of the book of Job. Adonai Natan, v'Adonai lakach. Yehi Shem Adonai mevarach. The Lord hath given, the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Amen. Hoseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru yimru amen. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. God, who causes peace to reign in the high heavens, cause peace to rain down upon us, upon all Israel, and upon the soul of our dearly departed Daniel Livshin. And let us say, Amen. Can there be a lament greater than for a young life lost? In the depths of grief and despair, O God, keep us strong so that we may help the stricken to regain their strength. Help us to support them as they ask the inevitable question. We grieve for what might have been, for joys unrealized, for tasks undone, for hopes thwarted, for growth arrested, for love blighted, and for challenges unmet. Help us to bring consolation to the bereaved. Help us to raise them from the depths of sorrow, slowly and lovingly. Help us to lead them from the night of desolation to the dawn of another day. Then the memory of their beloved Daniel will be able to return gently, peacefully to their hearts. May his memory live among them, allaying their grief, instructing them in the ways of living, and helping them to find meaning in the mystery of eternal life. God be with them, and teach us to be with them also. And let us say, Amen. Please rise for El Maleh Rachamim. Into your care, O God, we entrust the spirit of Daniel Livshin, Daniel Moshe ben Ari ve'Ilana. For you keep faith with your children in death as in life. Sustain us that we may meet with serenity the mysteries that lie ahead, knowing that when we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you, O God, are with us, a loving friend in whom we put our trust. You are the light of our life, our hope in eternity. El Maleh Rachamim, Shochein Bamromim, Hametzeh Menucha Nechona, Tachat Kanfei HaShechina, Im Kedoshim U'Tohorim, Kezohar HaMazirim, Et Nishmat Daniel Moshe ben Ari ve'Ilana, Shahalach L'Olamo, Ba'al HaRachamim, Yastirehu B'Seter Knafav Le'olamim, Vayitzro B'Tzro HaChaim, Et Nishmato, Adonai Hu Nachalato, V'yanuach B'Shalom Al Mishkavo, V'nomar Amen. Compassionate God, eternal Spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest in your sheltering presence to our dear Daniel Livshin, Daniel Moshe ben Ari ve'Ilana. He has entered eternity. O God of mercy, let him find refuge in the shadow of your wings, and let his soul be bound up in the bond of everlasting life. God is his inheritance. May he rest in peace, and let us say, Amen. Please be seated. The family will be receiving friends, sitting Shiva, however, just for today. Immediately after the interment, we're on our way to Mount Olive Cemetery. If you are going with us, then you know it will be a long, slow procession. If you're not going with us and just plan to come back to the family's house afterward, I imagine that from the time we walk out, it will probably be about an hour and a half before we arrive at the Livshin household. So you may time accordingly. The family will be at the house throughout the evening. However, at 6 o'clock, they're hoping to maybe thin the herd a little bit so that immediate family can just kind of breathe and gather their breath a little bit at 6 o'clock. So if you don't get there by 6, well, I guess come anyway, but just stay outside. So they can breathe. But this will be crushing in so many ways. You probably already do know that. We'll recite Kaddish for Daniel at the grave, and also for the whole month at our congregation at which he was bar mitzvah in the year 2006. Pretty amazing to think about that. Temple Israel Ner Tamid. We're on Lander Road. Friday night services are at 7:30. We'll say Kaddish for him this afternoon at Hebrew school because the kids need reps on the prayer. And we'll say Kaddish for him for a whole month, every Wednesday afternoon. And then on Sunday mornings, we'll say Kaddish for him at religious school as well for a month. And you can put him on the Kaddish list at your synagogue, wherever you go to. Although there is nothing specified here, the family would, of course, welcome donations in Daniel's loving memory to any charity that you feel does good, significant work, and do them in his loving memory, and just let the family will love to know that a donation has been made in his loving memory. Mr. Miller will come forward and give us direction as we go in procession. Mr. Berkowitz.